I was doing a gig on a porch in Somerville that was aptly named Somerville Porch Fest. And thank you. And since it was on a porch, anybody could just come. So this man showed up named Patrick. Now, if I could describe Patrick in 3 words, it would be homeless, shameless, and toothless. But he's got his swagger. I mean, like, social anxiety, like, fears this man. Do you know what I mean? And he was hitting on virtually every woman at this porch fest. And he had all these pickup lines for everyone. Like, baby, are you a parking ticket? Because you sure are fine. Well, it didn't work for him. He was going down the line, and obviously everyone's saying no. So I'm just sitting there, like, patiently waiting for my turn to get sexually harassed by Patrick. Because it was like a rite of passage at that point, And he finally gets to me, and he looks me up and down, and he's like, nah. Like, what? Patrick! Like, Patrick, you wouldn't have sex with me? No. Disgusting. I'm like, cool, now I have to seduce fucking Patrick, just so that I'm the one that turns him down, obviously. So I pulled out all the stops. I did what men think is sexy. I got a lifted truck with huge tires and an aftermarket muffler, and just drove back and forth past his tent, revving my engine egregiously loud for no reason. And he still wouldn't hit on me. And I was like, well, Patrick, can you at least tell me why you wouldn't hit on me? Or why you wouldn't have sex with me? And he was like, you just look like something's wrong with your blood. Jesus Christ, Patrick, you could have just said no. So I started smoking weed again for anxiety. I didn't have enough anxiety. I have diabetes, and sometimes my blood sugar will drop too low, which is dangerous. And when that happens, I get all like shaky and like woozy and panicky, so when I get stoned, it's just confusing. I'm like, am I high or low? People tell me I don't look diabetic. I don't know if that's because I have nice legs or because I have 2 of them. I don't recommend diabetes in this economy. You can't even get a sugar daddy. So if anyone knows a good Splenda daddy, let me know. Like, everybody in my family has a medical history that's like longer than a CVS receipt. So when I had kids, I kind of grappled with the guilt and the fear of am I gonna pass on all of my Feeley family health issues? But then I realized they don't have to worry about the Feeley health issues because they have their dad's last name. My cousin had a 9-pound baby, and everyone in my family was like, oh my god, get this woman a beer, she fucking deserves it, what a goddamn champion, that is what we call a baby. And then I also had a 9-pound baby, and they were like, yeah, it's because you have diabetes. Getting diagnosed with type 1 diabetes was actually wild, because I was fine, and then all of a sudden I wasn't fine. I got super sick so fast, ended up in the ICU, they did the labs, and they were like, yeah, your blood sugar is so high it's on the moon basically, and the pH is basically battery acid, and you're gonna have to take insulin for the rest of your life. I'm so sorry. And all I could think while I was facing this life-changing diagnosis was, holy shit, Patrick was right. I've done some interesting gigs in my comedy journey. I did this one gig that was free and outside, so anybody could just show up, and show up anybody did. In particular, this man named Patrick showed up. Now, if I could describe Patrick in 3 words, it would be homeless, toothless, and shameless.
the swagger this man waltzed through with. He started hitting on virtually every woman at this event. To be fair, I don't know if he was trying to get them into bed or if he was just trying to get into a bed. But he was just going down the line. He had pickup lines for everybody, like, baby, are you a parking ticket? Because you sure are fine. And of course, everybody's turning him down, obviously, but he didn't care. It was admirable. He was so convinced that he was gonna bag one of us, somebody, and he's still just going down, like, girl, you wearing space pants? Because that ass is out of this world. Hey girl, are you a turkey? Because you look like you want to be stuffed. So I'm just sitting there patiently waiting for my turn to get sexually harassed by Patrick, because it's like a rite of passage at this point. And finally he gets to me, and all he says is, ugh. I was like, Patrick, I beg your finest pardon? You wouldn't have sex with me, Patrick? No. Disgusting. I'm like, great. Now I gotta seduce fucking Patrick just so that I'm the one that turns him down. Of course. So, I pulled out all the stops. I did what men think is sexy. I bought a lifted truck with huge tires, an aftermarket muffler, and I drove back and forth past his tent, catcalling him and just revving my engine egregiously loudly for no reason, and he still wouldn't hit on me. And I was like, well, Patrick, can you at least tell me why you wouldn't have sex with me? Do you know what he said to me? He said, you look like you got something wrong with your blood. Jesus Christ, Patrick, you could have just said no. So anyway, I started smoking weed again for anxiety. I didn't have enough anxiety. I have diabetes, and sometimes my blood sugar will drop too low, which is dangerous. And when that happens, I get all panicky and woozy and feeling like I'm about to die, So when I get stoned, it's just confusing. I'm like, am I too high or too low? It's hard being diabetic in this economy. Can't even get a sugar daddy. People tell me I don't look diabetic. I don't know if that's because I have nice legs or because I have two of them. Thank you. Everybody in my family has a medical history that's longer than a CVS receipt. So when I had kids, I kind of grappled with the guilt and the fear of am I going to pass on all of my family's health issues, But then I realized my kids don't have to worry about the Feeley family health problems because they got their dad's last name. Hell yeah, brother. I am a genius with a capital J. My cousin had a 9-pound baby, and everybody in my family was like, holy shit, get this woman a beer, she deserves it, what a goddamn champion. Now that is what we call a baby. And then I also had a 9-pound baby, and they were like, yeah, that's because you have diabetes. Getting diagnosed with type 1 diabetes was actually wild because I was fine, and then I wasn't fine. I got sick so quick, ended up in the ICU. They did labs, and they were like, so your blood sugar is so high, it's on the moon, and your body's pH is basically battery acid, and you're gonna have to take insulin for the rest of your life. I'm so sorry. So I'm sitting there facing this life-changing diagnosis, and I was just in shock, Because I was like, oh my God, Patrick was right.